Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are glad you're here today at our marketing workshop and very excited about the content we have today. This is something we're particularly proud of. Before we get started, doing a little bit of housekeeping as everyone gets logged in, checks their audio, make sure that everything's working well. Just a reminder that these sessions are being recorded and they'll be available on our YouTube page. I'm going to go into the chat right now, and hopefully everyone is familiar with that by now. And I'm going to put a link to all of our previous sessions in the chat. We've had some really, really great sessions in the past. Our first one was about our top 10 downloads available on the dealer portal and why people are downloading those and what you can get out of them. Then we did a session about images and photography. We did a session about our builder program and working with how you work with builders and market with builders. Kelsie led a fantastic session with alarm.com about websites. That was very well attended, and a lot of you came back with a lot of interesting comments and a lot of support that you wanted to help build up and improve your websites. We did a great webinar, great workshop about scripting, how to write your scripts, how to find existing scripts, things like that. We did a really nice webinar here in my home with Jacob Scott, our videographer, talking about how to make quick, easy videos with your phone, or how to use professional equipment and what equipment we use, and where you can get existing video that you can just edit, stuff that's pre-made, ready to go. And then last week we did a session on it, how to empower your employees through a purchase program or through personal experience. And we had a special guest, Kirk Brundage from Link Interactive and Mountain Alarm, who shared his secrets on how he's turned all of his employees into promoters that is then blossomed out and translated into great sales. So those are all available on the playlist. Please watch those recordings. I think you'll get a lot out of them. Share them with others if you think that's appropriate. And we hope that you'll enjoy today's session, which is going to be about displays. We get a lot of people asking about displays, a lot of people asking, how do I create a display? What do I do? You know, maybe I want to create a demo room. Maybe I want to do something else. And we have Kelsie Wing, who runs our dealer marketing globally for Johnson Controls, who is going to be sharing this stuff. Before we do that, I've got a couple quick poll questions. And the first one I want to ask is, are you currently installing JCI and Qualys' products? And the answer could be yes, or maybe it's not yet. I'm guessing most of you, if not all of you, are currently installing our products. If you're not, then we certainly want to know and would love to know from you what you're looking for that might tip the scale and help you to make that change. If you can find the question or chat function in the GoToWebinar control panel, we'd love to hear from you what we could do to help convince you to try to start using that product line. And then the second poll question I've got, and this is a choose all that apply. I want to know if you've got a physical place to display your products. And again, choose all that apply here. Maybe you've got a showroom for potential customers. Maybe you've got a demo room for your employees in the building somewhere. Maybe you display products with a partner. Maybe you've got like a builder, for example, and you display your products in their showroom, or you work with a realtor or, you know, a cable company or something like that. Maybe you create displays for events like home shows, trade shows, you know, things like that. Or hello, pandemic, no one's showing products right now, duh. Feel free to do that one. That was just more for fun than anything else. But it is good to know, you know, some of the opportunities that are out there as there are some things that, you know, as you look at how you might want to do some displays, we've got some things we could share that could probably help you and influence you and get you on the right track. And
That
then
last one was interesting. Oh, I was just going to say that one's interesting. It was pretty even throughout all of that.
It was. So the final poll question I've got is, what are you most interested in learning today? And again, choose all that apply. You want to know how to create a permanent showroom or a demo room. Maybe you want to know how to create a mobile demo, something that you could pack up and take from place to place, whether that's a salesperson doing it or use it for home shows or take it and go set up at a builder or, you know, something like that. Maybe you just want to know where and how to get graphics for the demos you already have, the showrooms you already have. Or maybe you just want to see where the possibilities might take you. So, you know, we really love the idea of you guys joining these, participating in the way you want to. And I will direct your attention also to the chat section. We'd love to hear where you're calling in from. Are you working from home? Are you working from the office? what's your role in marketing? You know, what's been your favorite workshop? Anything, we'd love to hear. So it looks like we got Santiago from Delray Beach. Glad you're here. Laura is said that she's thinking about demos, but maybe not necessarily having one right now, and want to see where the possibilities take her. David in Ontario, welcome, thank you. Frank, good to see you again, buddy. Rinat in Israel, welcome, glad you're here. That's a long way to come away, and hopefully it's not too late over there. I think it's 9 hours ahead right now, so it's nice to know that you're living in the future over there. Nick says says he's got 2 IQ tabletops and they're great. Those really are great. We're going to talk a little bit about those displays today. Let's go ahead and turn the time over to you, Kelsie, and let you share your screen. You've got a short little PowerPoint you're going to use to kind of illustrate some of the various demos that we've done or created with partners. And we do a lot of partnering on this kind of stuff too, right?
Yes. So if you have an idea of demos that you want, let us know. We're more than happy to help. We can show you where the materials are. We're not going to really go into the dealer portal today, which is where you'll find a lot of the materials, because we've done that in past presentations, but they are all there. You are going to see some examples in later slides about demos that we've helped with, but we have pulled almost all of these materials from our dealer portal. So if you have questions on where to find these specifically on the dealer portal, go back to that one of the first webinars. I believe it was the first webinar, right, Jeremy, that you did that walks through the dealer portal and where to find a lot of these materials.
That's correct. Yep, top 10 downloads, and we kind of did an over the portal of that one. That was a great one.
Great. Well, here's just a few quick examples. So we have product image packs where you're going to be able to find lifestyle images of not only the IQ panel, but of the devices that are compatible. These also are going to have some plain PNG transparent images. So if you're looking for those instead, maybe you've got images that you like already and you want to throw these PNGs on there, you can do that. We have mini displays as well. So if you, I think there was one of the questions was you want to be able to have a mobile display. This one is perfect. This is going to allow you the opportunity to add the IQ panel, the door lock of your choice, and different devices. We've loved these at trade shows. You're going to see some examples later that we share of things that we've done in the past. We love being able to show a door window sensor, pull up emotion, a Skybell video cam or a Skybell doorbell camera, video cameras. The possibilities here are endless, and they're going to be able to match whatever it is that you're trying to help explain to a customer.
Yeah, and one thing I love about that mini display is that, you know, it's very, very modular. You know, you can take those little stands. If maybe you got a product that belongs on a stand, maybe you got a product that you don't need to have a stand, maybe you got a product that takes up the space of 2 stands. They're magnetic. You can literally remove them. You can take them and set them on the side next to it. It makes a really, really versatile display, and it's actually made by the same company that makes all the big technology displays in Costco. So we actually went to that same company, and it's made of, you know, nice steel, really super strong. It's all powder coated. We went to that same company and said, hey, we love some of these things you've done for Ring and for Apple and things like that in Costco. We'd like to be able to make something similar. And so we built this display. We had an original version that was really big. You might see it in some of our distributors, probably twice as wide. And we said, you know what, this one needs to be a little more portable. Some of our customers might want to purchase one for their own displays, demos, trade shows, etc. So we've actually built this one. It's you know, literally about 18 inches wide, so very small, very compact, but allows you to display the full solution in a really versatile way. So it's a really cool display.
Yeah, it is. And Frank, I believe, oh, he may be referring to something else, but this is available now. So you can actually go to the dealer portal in the marketing store section and purchase this, and we'll get it shipped to you as quickly as possible. So other things that we have available are placards. These are perfect for your demos. So being able to have an image or a physical device, right, of a sensor. This one here is the IQ Mini, and it's going to talk about primary features as well as how your customers can use it. So with your full ecosystem, what can they do? When you open a door, lights can turn on. When you leave a door open, the thermostat can adjust. So these placards are going to go through all of those devices and talk about how to make it smart and just the main basic features associated with it. And then lastly, videos. So if in your demos or your demo rooms, you have TVs. We have commercials that could be playing on repeat for hours, right, Jeremy? This is going to be one of our live action commercials. We have animations. These are for residential, commercial, builder, upgrades. We've tried to do everything to be able to help you sell to your customers as easily as possible.
There's an important point you make there, Kelsie. Like, you know, a lot of times people think of displays as I'm going to put a product down and make it so people can touch and interact with it. And that's great. And you really should do that. But if you're really creating a great display, it's more than just the ability to look at the product. There's signage up on the walls. There's TVs, looping videos. There are placards, you know, identifying the various products you have and what their capabilities are and what the features are, the end user, you know, benefits, etc. So to create a really good display, you need all of these elements, and consider carefully and thoughtfully the space you have available. If you've only got a small space, then obviously, you know, maybe a little mini display or a panel by itself with a couple flyers or things like that might be sufficient. But if you've got a whole room, use the whole room. You know, there's multiple walls, there might be televisions, there might be seating, there's all sorts of things you can use. So use all of your resources to really make a great experience for the person that you're demoing for.
Yeah, you are completely right. And we'll start with the examples of what dealers have done already. And you're gonna see just that, Jeremy. Some of them just have a wall that they have. Others have giant rooms that we've been able to help create demos for. So let me jump here. This is Amp Smart. So they actually are located in Utah, not too far from our marketing team. This is a demo room that we helped with. So you're going to be able to see here to the left, they have different panels that they're comparing.
Hey, Kelsie, put it in presentation mode if you don't mind so we can see it.
I had thought I did that. It doesn't look like it.
Bottom corner right next to your little slider. Other side. There you go. Click on that.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
funny, I thought I did that earlier. Thanks, Jeremy. So again, you're gonna see here, they're comparing the IQ panel, two different panels. You can see that the IQ panel in the far right checks all of those boxes, right? So that's why you wanna pick the IQ panel. It has all the features and benefits that a customer is gonna need. You can also see here, we have our web of features. These are going to be those differentiating features that you want to talk to a customer about, right? Bluetooth disarming, live view, live answer, encrypted devices, the 5 megapixel panel camera. So that is what they're displaying here.
Really focusing on differentiators. And when AMP came to us and said, hey, we want to create a whole technology room that just showcases the product. We want to have comparison charts with the competition. We want to talk about the differentiating features. We want to show the product line, things like that. We leaped at the opportunity to help them with this. And we actually created most, if not all, of the graphics for this room. They created the layout of the room. They showed us what they wanted. And then we went and we helped them and said, oh, based on this size of this wall, we think this might be the right size and things like that. It was a really great collaborative effort between the two of us. As we built the graphics for these, you know, they again printed them. We simply created the digital files and then they printed them. But there was a real heavy focus on differentiating features, and their particular audience, their demo room was for employees, especially potential recruits. Amp Smart, if you don't know, is a door knocking company. They sell IQ panel door to door. They call it the Amp Smart panel. They sell it door to door. And so they wanted to be able to have a place when a new recruit was coming in, that they wanted to walk them to this technology room and not only show off the actual technology. So all the lights in there are automated. There's a garage door that opens up. There's, you know, a door lock and a video doorbell on the front door, things like that. They've got mobile apps on that table so you can interact with the system. There was voice control. There were TVs looping the different videos, you know, at the end of the room. Even things like the light in the fish tank was automated, and you could use voice control or use the panel to turn it on and off. So it was a really cool experience. But they wanted to be able to show off the solution to their employees. So as they walked employees through it, or potential recruits, the people would say, wow, this is a really cool solution. Yes, I'd like to sign with you. Yes, I'd like to go sell your product. It was not meant for a demo for a customer. It was not meant to you know, help the employees understand how the system works, although it certainly did accomplish that. And it was left open at all times, so that any employee could go in at any time if they had a question about it. There was people in their call center for customer service who would come in and test and see how that worked, things like that. So it was a really great experience for them to build that, and it was a great experience for us to help highlight those differentiating features, you know, in print, up visually up on the walls.
Yeah, and it looks beautiful. It turned out great. And last thing too, you'll see Jeremy had mentioned other devices. They have some of the devices here as well, some compatible devices that will be able to work with the IQ panel. So next, let's jump. This is Skyline. This is actually another office that Skyline had in Utah that we were able to help with. So you'll see there's lots of things that we did here. One of my favorites was they had a little demo room and we took advantage of the whole space like Jeremy had mentioned earlier. We have these lifestyle images. You'll see here the last 4 images. These images are available on our dealer portal's image packs. What we did is we took them, you can see they're square images, right? And then we use those placards that I had talked about earlier. And a placard is on each of these images. So it's going to allow a customer, or these I think too, right, Jeremy, were for the sales reps to come in and learn about different
it was for
devices.
all the above. They had potential customers, they had sales reps recruiting, they had their call center people coming in and learning things like that. So they, you know, seeing that visual representation of the product, and the actual physical product was on the wall as well. So they could see it installed in a home, they could walk up and look at it and touch it and feel it, they could interact with it, and then they could read about it on the little product placards as well. And it made a really nice space. And as Kelsie said, we used all 4 walls in here to really illustrate all those differentiating features. One wall was dedicated to devices, the other wall was dedicated to differentiating features. And they specifically asked to highlight not just, you know, IQ panel features, but, you know, all of the features. So there were, you know, placards there and images from alarm.com cameras and video doorbells and things like that. So it was the full solution. And I think, Kelsie, your team does a very good job of showing off the full solution and not just simply the products that we sell.
Yeah, you're gonna see on almost all of our marketing materials, we're showing cameras, we're showing lights, locks, thermostats, garage door openers. So we believe in that full ecosystem. We are always talking about it. You'll see too, something that I liked as we were walking through the Skyline building is they also focused on their employees. So they had, you'll see here, this is the bottom left. They're talking about things that their employees have done, things that they've accomplished. If they've met their goals, they had a placard or you'll see these are a bit larger, but they talked about them personally. They talked about their achievements, really was showing off that they're proud of their customers too, or proud of their employees too, which I really liked. And Jeremy, have we had any questions come through?
We've had a few. So for example, we've got some questions. If I'm a customer, would you help me design these walls? Could we do it for, customers in Europe, things like that? I mean, obviously we've got some people from Israel here. We've got some people from other places. What is your policy, or what's your process, Kelsie, when someone says, hey, I want to make a demo room, what do I do? How do I get started?
That's a good question. We, of course, would want to know what your space looks like, right? Are we designing full rooms? Are you wanting just a demo board? So we want to answer those questions, but we are happy to help. We're happy to show you where assets are on our dealer portal. I think that's a great place to start too, is see if the assets that we've provided already are going to help you get started. But if you need additional help, you can always reach out to my team. And Jeremy, do you want to actually put our email in there?
Yeah, I'll
just
do
so
that
that
right
people
now.
have it and they can reach out after this webinar?
And that's a good point too. So for example, we had someone in Dubai, a customer in Dubai reach out the other day and say, hey, I want to, I've got 2 boards. They're, 24 inches by 24 inches. I want to put product on them. I'd like some ideas. And so we were able to take and, share some of the ideas we've done with other people in the past and say, which ones of these do you like? Are any of these resonating? Do you want something like this? And they were able to say, I like something like this. And we were able to deliver to them, a few examples of stuff they did, show them where to look on the dealer portal, and they were able to use the assets on the dealer portal to create some graphics for their things. They were very appreciative. So that's absolutely the type of process we can use. But if you've got a tricky situation or you just want a little bit more consulting or things like that, that's what Kelsie's team is here to help with. And I'll put the email in the chat. So if you have questions or needs from her, you can email them directly.
Great, thank you so much. All right, let's move on. So this is Live Watch. This is a perfect example of demo boards. So you can see they have the product families is what they chose to do here. So they have a section for remote devices, right? Life safety devices, home security devices. They have the panels there. This is perfect. This is simple, but this is right. It's achieving what you want in a demo space. It's going to show all the devices that are compatible. These two, I would assume, Jeremy, powered up. You were able to see how the panel functions. You were able to see devices that were paired to it as well.
And if you look closely, you'll notice it's actually our first generation panel. These were ones, LiveWatch was a company purchased by Brinks, but when they first, were around, they were using our first generation panel, and they said, we need a space for employees to learn about the system. It's basically a part of our training room. We will also use it for some troubleshooting. If a customer has a question or something like that, that we could come in and replicate what they're doing in this space. So we literally took IKEA tables. That was our suggestion. Take IKEA tables. I think they cost $4 or $5 a piece, or $10, $15 a piece. They took double-sided adhesive, stuck the devices to the table, and then they put on these strips, these graphic strips, which we helped them to make. We basically said, made a blue bar that said panel and keypad, a blue bar that said security devices, etc. And they basically made them into stickers that they, applied to the tables, and then they hung the tables on the wall. Very simple solution, very affordable solution. So your demo space, you'll get a lot of people who say, well, I want to make a demo space. I'm going to work with a demo company. It's a trade show company. It's going to cost me $15,000 to build this awesome space. And I'm sure it'll be great, but just know that it doesn't have to be that expensive. You can do things in a way that still looks great, still functions really, really well, and do it on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks for bringing that up. So this actually is our office in our Utah technical account managers. This is what their board looks like. They came to us and said, we want to show off our different flavors. So we want a board that's going to be 319.5, show what's compatible with Qualsys and Interlogix, same thing with 2GIG and Honeywell and DSC. And then they also wanted to show off the Hardwire 16F. This was one of the popular, the Hardwire 16F demo was something that was really popular in ISC a few years ago when we showed it off. So they said, we want something similar, be able to show just how that whole ecosystem works. So we were able to create this for them. And then they're going to continue adding to this as well. So as we're adding more devices, you can see even here, we don't have it hung up there, but we have the first generation panel as well. So something that they were really excited to have. And again, Jeremy, this was something that was really budget friendly.
Yeah, it's the same concept. We actually took IKEA tables, only this time we did a full wrap. We took a graphic that represented the same colors we put on our packaging, and we did a full wrap of that table. And it's literally, with the exception of the printing at the top, it's just the texture and color. So it was very simple. If you were to take all the devices off that board, it would literally be just a big gold board with the words PowerG, Qualsys, S-Line, Interlogix at the top. That would be it. And so it gave us the freedom to be able to put devices wherever we wanted to in the way that we wanted to do it. You'll also notice, this is actually a fun little trick that I came up with at ISC West in 2013. All the door window sensors are horizontal. And what we did is we took little sheets of plastic. We actually just cut little pieces of like blister packaging. When you get buy some electronics, it comes those, you buy, get a little piece of plastic, put the door windows, or put the magnet from the door window sensor on the top of that, and then put it behind the door window sensor so you can lift it up and it's still kind of attached to the plastic, and then you can drop it back down. So we actually cut the adhesive in a way so that the adhesive on the sensor was only on the ends, and this plastic would slip up and down through it. So it would allow you to do it open and close without actually having the magnet attached to the board. So little clever things like that to help make this a little bit more interactive experience. You can walk up and open and close the door. You can, of course, wave in front of a motion, things like that. But all of these are working systems on each individual board. So pretty fun.
Yeah. So those are some of the demo rooms we've talked about. We want to go spend the last few minutes talking about trade shows. So these are a few of the slides, and then Jeremy actually is going to pull up our Facebook page. We have lots of other images there that we want to show off. So these are some of the demo boards that we have. We've talked about these a little bit. This one you'll notice at the top right is not only showing off the physical device, but it also has a short description as well. You can find descriptions of all of the devices on our Qualsys products page, as well as the sell slicks on the dealer portal. So lots of places to go to be able to find out how to talk about these devices in an easy way that people will understand.
I
Showing
love the
off
image
again,
on the
this is
bottom right. It's actually shows the entire ecosystem. So again, we took an IKEA table, very affordable. We put a graphic on the top of it, and each of the boxes wrapped up a particular SRF frequency. Now, this was for dealers. We wanted them to understand what stuff was Z-Wave, what stuff was, security, what stuff was Wi-Fi, etc. But you can see there's the S-line box, and there was a dotted line that came back to the panel. There was another box that was talking about Z-Wave, and it showed this, and it, so doing it on a table allowed us to kind of show how each of the different devices pair in and come into the panel. So it was another really unique way of showing that ecosystem off.
Yeah, I love that. And then these are some more images, Jeremy. So these are, you're going to see lifestyle images. We focused on, this is our commercial here on the bottom right. So we've got those lifestyle images of the commercial space, physical products. We actually had locks that were paired to the panel, so those would work. Same thing with the cameras. We try at trade shows to make things really interactive. We want someone to walk up and be able to press the locks and see how it's going to interact with the panel. Ring the doorbell and it's going to pull up on the panel again. So really making it as real life as possible, I think, is important.
And that can be tricky, especially in a trade show environment. I mean, we always call it internet soup, because especially when you're at a big show where there's lots of other people displaying, oftentimes the internet's not terribly reliable. And if you pay for internet from the show, it can be very expensive, very, very expensive.
Right.
So we've actually used like Verizon jetpacks in the past, where we'll literally put that little, Verizon hotspot down, use our own little hotspot connection to be able to connect all the stuff and make it work. And a lot of times, just having your own little, miniature internet can improve the whole experience there. You'll also notice that as you look at, so the top right is CES, the bottom right is ISC, the bottom left, I believe, was ESX. But there's a variety of ways to display it. So we had a big triangle thing, and that way people could walk all the way around it. We had one with a table, one with a TV on it, things like that. The goal for us was to build something that if someone walked up and let's say Kelsie was talking with another customer and couldn't speak to that person right away, that they could watch the video, look at a flyer, read a couple of the things, and they would get the main points, enough to make them want to stick around and talk to Kelsie, or enough to make them say, okay, I know enough now that I'm going to go talk to my distributor, things like that. I would really encourage you, if you are going to have any kind of handouts, flyers, things like that at these kind of events, and there's a lot on the dealer portal you can choose from, that your call to action be one that that allows them to go to a website or something that can do more. And again, if you wanted to learn how to make a great website, we had a great workshop on that a few weeks ago,
Right.
and you could utilize all those to build a great website that say, hey, look, you saw the demo, now go to this website. And we've even done ones in the past where we take the flyer and add a QR code, so the customer, or even put it on the wall where you could say, let me just scan the QR code, I'll go to the website, and now I can keep looking at the products there.
Yeah, you're right. Do you want to go ahead and share for the last couple of minutes, share some of the Facebook images that we have?
Yep, I know we're out of time, but let me share my my screen real quick. I just wanted to show off how some of these things had appeared, and you can go to the Qualsys Facebook page and actually see. You know what? I don't know if it's going to let me, Kelsie. I've got my new computer and I haven't granted it.
That's right. Do you want to just share the link then? Do you mind sharing the link in the chat, and then that way they can take a few minutes after this call?
I can do that. I'm just trying to quickly grant to see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to quit and reopen it if I do that. So let me I'll put this in the chat. So this is just an example of our most recent ISC West, which is 2019. And you can see, you'll see one of the images we already showed, but there's a lot of really great close-ups of how we did our flyers and the big hallway display we had and things like that. Again, all of these elements exist now today. So if you were to say, hey, boy, I really love that, that image with retire the truck and, the way you position, products, can I have that image? Yes. The answer is yes. You can. So if you need something, if you see something you like, you see something you want, you can absolutely have it. We will send you the file. You know, and in some cases, depending on the situation, you know, we could potentially even throw your logo onto it for you as well. So
Yeah.
we're happy to help with that kind of stuff. That's part of the support that our marketing team provides as you being a customer. So for those of you that are not customers yet, you're missing out on some great marketing support, and we hope that you would, you know, want to make the decision to start using IQ Panel in some of your product lines. And take advantage of some of these resources that will really help you stand out in a pinch. Kelsie, thank you very much for preparing
Yeah.
that presentation. I think it really shows off some of the things that your team has done, and you know, again, if you guys want support, that's what Kelsie's here for. We put the link in the chat or the email in the chat where if you want to reach out to her specifically. And again, most of the stuff is on the dealer portal to right now, right?
Yes, and it's free. So go take a look at it. I hope this gives you a few ideas of what you are capable of doing. Like Jeremy said, my team is more than happy to help provide whatever assets it is that we can.
Absolutely. Additionally, next week we have a great webinar or great workshop. We're going to be talking about email, how to create email campaigns, what we use to create an email campaign. There'll obviously be some assets from the dealer portal that we'll pull over. We'll show you how to build an email, things like that. So we'll talk about calls to action and how to do those kind of things. So should be really interesting. I hope if you're not using email today to communicate with your existing customers or with potential customers, there's a definite missed opportunity there. So we're looking forward to sharing that information. We hope you'll join us for that. And of course, thank you again, Kelsie, for participating today. We appreciate your insight and your efforts. And of course, all the individual people that are on the webinar today. Thank you for your comments, your participating, and thank you again. Hold on for us. Don't go away yet. We're going to close the webinar, and there'll be a quick little survey we'd love you to fill out for us and just let us know how we did today. But otherwise, we will see you next week.
Have a good week, everyone.